Austin 316 says I just whipped your... You sit there and call yourself the gorilla, yet you hee-haw out here like a jackass. What? I said shut up. You can kiss my ass.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
What? And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 82, Do Unto Others, and we are covering April into May of 2001. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV as always. JV, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Coming off a last week's watch along.
Yes, fun watch along with the guys from Talking Taker, Alex and Travis.
Those guys are the shit.
Oh, they're awesome.
I really like doing watch alongs with those guys.
I agree. It's just a blast every time.
Yeah.
You know, trip down memory lane, and it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always think of it's like, you know, you and I have been best friends for a long time. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Georgia version of us.
Yeah. I feel like I know them, but I don't. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah. Well, after a few times of talking, yeah, right,
they're genuine and shit.
Yeah, they're great guys, and you know, we talk to them before we hit record too. So you know, we talk about things that we don't talk about on the show with them. So they're cool dudes. So definitely love talking to them, and hopefully you guys liked us talking to Talking Taker last week. So this is going to be like a companion piece to that episode. So you had a watch along version, and now this is kind of like the discussion part of it, where we'll get into some more of the details about what we thought when we were watching and reviewing it. Because obviously during watch along, we're not going to pick up every little thing that we would the way that we do on these episodes, because we're shooting the shit for most of it. So we might skip over some things that we might have wanted to talk about, but it just happened to be in the middle of a conversation about, I don't know, fucking high school or something, you know?
Yep.
Something like that, you know? So it's a companion piece nonetheless, and we're going to pick up from where we left off in episode 81, and that was that the Brothers of Destruction wanted to defend their titles against the two-man power trip, against Stone Cold and Triple H. So they had first asked to get a title, not a title shot, they had first asked to get a shot at the two-man power crew because of all the path of destruction they were going on. But they had to beat Edge and Christian first, which happened to be the champions. So they did that. They won the titles, and now they have to defend their titles. But Linda McMahon says it's only fair if they have to put their titles up too. So Stone Cold has to put up his world title, and Triple H has to put up his IC title. And that's kind of where we left off. So if you hadn't listened to the Talking Taker watch along from last week, obviously I suggest that you do that. But if you're just one of those listeners that just goes with the chronological episodes, just wanted to give you that little recap because it's been a couple of weeks. So before we get into this episode, there is a couple of things I do want to mention. Is last week, JV, you said you had your first Broken Skull IPA.
Yes.
And I had to go out and get mine too. So on last Friday, I picked up my first 4-pack. And I'm enjoying my second one right now. I drank one Saturday, and I had to save the can. So the can is now saved with my Stone Cold collection of shit. So
I drank all mine already.
I usually would drink it.
I drank 3 that day, and then started like trying some other IPA, saved one, and then had the other.
Yeah. This is the only IPA or beer that I even bought, so because I don't usually drink beer, as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, these take me a little longer to drink. One beer is like good for me because then I feel full. I'm just not used to it. But anyway, I'm sipping on that tonight. So I waited all day to have a Steve Weiser here, a Broken Skull IPA, now that they're in Massachusetts. So that was pretty cool that they finally made their way here. So hopefully it's not just like a one-off and then they'll be gone, from the store
Yeah.
that we go to, Yankee Spirits. All right, so yeah, it's pretty good. Broken Skull IPA, I enjoyed it. Like I said, hopefully they don't just get rid of it because that's probably something I'll buy again. But
I
speaking
don't
of,
think they will.
you think
They
they'll
seem
keep
to
it?
have a. No, I think they'll keep it. I don't think they'll get rid of it.
I did see a few other El Segundo Brewing Company beers
Yeah.
that they had.
And even like smaller liquor stores are starting to get them.
So they're starting to spread out. Cool.
Yep.
And also speaking of Stone Cold, I was checking out our analytics for the podcast and just checking out to see where some subscribers were from. And one popped out. It was a city in California. It was Marina Del Rey. And the only place that I ever heard of Marina Del Rey is when Stone Cold talks about it. That's where he lives on his podcast. He says, here and down in Marina Del Rey off the mean streets of Los Angeles. And I was like, is Stone Cold Steve Austin a subscriber to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast?
Oh, man.
And that was at some point last week, I think maybe Friday or Saturday. And since then, I've gone back to look at the list, and it's not there anymore. But maybe he did check it out for a week, and then said, fuck it, I'm not going to go listen to shit about me. But that is wishful thinking. Maybe, and I also thought because you posted a tweet about the Broken Skull IPA, and you added him. Yep. So maybe he was like, oh, shit, they're on to me. I'm going to unsubscribe. I don't want them asking me anything about if they could be a guest.
You want to be on the show?
But yeah, Stone Cold, if you're listening, you don't have to be. We don't have to interview you. You can just watch something with us. Watch along style, drink a beer.
Yeah, you're always welcome. Whatever your schedule needs, we'll make it happen. If I have to call out of work, I'm doing it. If I have to miss a wedding or something, done.
Yeah, I would. Interviewing would not be my thing. I would just want to just have a conversation,
watch
along, and bullshit, and see what comes up as the match goes on. Not do an interview because I feel like I don't know if you don't watch a lot of SNL, but maybe the old SNL you watched. Chris Farley, he has this skit where he's an interviewer, and whoever he interviews, he's always starstruck by.
Yeah.
So he talked like Paul McCartney was one of them, and he's like, "Remember that time you sang that Beatles song?" And like, yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. And the guy's just
I remember that now. Yeah.
So I'd be like, Stone Cold, remember when you fought Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13? So yeah, oh yeah, I remember that.
Well, my thing
that was awesome.
Yeah. Think of how many times he's been fucking like interviewed in it.
Yeah.
Like
shit.
We're really gonna come up with a question that he's never been asked. Like, nah, let's just do a fucking watch along
and see what comes off the top of his head as he watches.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Stone Cold, if you're listening, that's what we want to do. Just crack a top and watch some wrestling. All right, so anyways, like I said, wishful thinking there. Now, on to our little plugs here. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at Bottom Line Cast on Twitter. You can follow me, Mike Prue, at MPRU83. And you can follow JV at John Van Damage. Also, we have a YouTube channel. You can check that out. It's Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. And you can join our Facebook group, Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, also. And if you want some merchandise, you go to teespring.com/bottom-line-wrestling-cast. And we have all different things like t-shirts, sweatshirts, fanny packs, even COVID masks now. So, or face masks, whatever the fuck they want to call them on there. But
they're COVID masks. No one else is wearing a mask until COVID.
Yeah. So, I got my fanny pack in today.
Nice.
And I'm gonna try it out tomorrow when I go running in the morning.
Gotta post a picture. That's funny. That's what I use, the fanny pack.
So I'm gonna put my phone in there so it's all nice and snug. And oh, you use the fanny pack when you run?
Yeah, I use a Marvel Comics one. It's got like all the different iconic classic covers on it.
And it works perfectly. The phone doesn't like move all around and shit.
No, it just sits in the fucking
can't wait
thing, and it's awesome.
Because for the past forever since I've been running, but I really just got back into it for over the past month, like 30-something days straight. I've been like wrapping up the cord with my finger and running with the phone in my hand.
Oh, you don't have AirPods?
I do, but I don't trust them. I have like
what?
I have like 2-3 different pairs, and they always seem to just like eventually fall out of my head. And then I have
mine's never fall out.
Oh, I've tried so many
Anything,
different pairs.
Working out, everything like that. They're fucking.
Now when I'm pounding on the ground, and they just eventually start getting loose in there. No, maybe I have big earlobes or big air passages, whatever the fuck they're called.
I do have small ears, so.
All right, so that's at teespring.com. You can check all that merch out there. And one other thing before we get started with the show is you heard Alex from Talking Taker talk last week on the show about how he received a gift from me in the Bottom Line Wrestling cast of the Undertaker Ghostbusters Elite wrestling figure. And he was very appreciative of that. They actually sent me something back too, but he told me not to open it until we record our episode, and I kept those wishes, and I did not open it despite having it as we record on Tuesday. I got it in Saturday, I believe, so it's been all these days that the package has just been sitting. And I'm like, all right, I know I gotta open it on the air. I can't look at it early and pretend to have opened it on the air, so it's still closed, and we're gonna do a live opening here. And the package is a package like, JV, you know this because you send out many of packages. It's the type of package where you would put a comic book into or a magazine.
Yep, a Gemini mailer.
Is that what they're called? Yeah. They have a little tab to pull at the top of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what it is.
On the inside. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what we have here. So, of course, it's like a Christmas present where if you see it, you got to try to guess what it is. So based on that information, I figure, maybe it's like a magazine or picture or something. Well, we'll see. So the suspense is about to end here, and I'm going to pull the tab now. I'll try to get it on audio. You hear that?
Yeah, that's good fake noise you made. I'm just kidding.
Now I'm going to have to describe it because JV can't see it, and obviously you can't see it, listeners. So JV's not seeing this as I'm doing it.
No clue what the hell he's opening. What's in the box?
What's in it? All right, so. Okay. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Oh, God. This is so funny.
All right, what is it?
It's an autographed signed picture of Earl Hebner.
No.
Yes. That's awesome. Fucking Earl, baby.
I would have never guessed that, but that's the best thing they could have possibly sent you. Oh, that's good.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Thanks, Alex. And as any listener of this show would know, is that I give a lot of shit to Earl Hebner on here. So this is great. This is being hung up. It was such an ironic thing to have too. The guy that I shit on the most, that's what's going to be hanging up.
You're going to have to post it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'll post it right after this episode gets posted or even before. Actually, yeah, I got to save it until some people listen to the episode, right?
Yeah.
You can't just post it before people even listen. So, yeah.
Post it on Friday.
Yeah, I'll post it a day or two later. But I'll message Alex after we're done recording this. Man, that's awesome. Thanks a lot for that.
That's so good.
You know, Alex is listening to our show. He knows how it goes here. Oh, that's so funny. See, that was fun. Opening, not knowing what was coming out there. That was perfect. True reaction. That was awesome. Ah, cool shit there. All right, so let's get into it now. And I was intentionally going to try to lay off of Earl Hebner on this episode. So, in honor of the gift of the autographed Earl Hebner picture, I'll lay low on Earl during this episode. I'll try anyway. Who knows what will happen as I go through. He might piss me off. I did intentionally go back and delete some stuff about Earl. I was like, I don't need to say that. I said that like fucking 20 times already. So I don't have to say that again. But anyway, let's get into it now, and we're going to go back to Backlash. Starting off at Backlash 2001. It's April 29th, 2001, live from Chicago, Illinois. And the main match here, the main event that we watched along with last week, is the two-man power trip versus the Brothers of Destruction. All the titles are on the line: the world title, the intercontinental title, and the tag team titles that are held by Undertaker and Kane. Stone Cold, WWF champ, Triple H, IC champ. Okay, so as I said, we watched along with this, so definitely check that out for our play-by-play and all our commentary. I'm going to hit some of the match highlights and the finish here, not go into every little detail because we did watch this last week, and hopefully you listened to it. I know not everybody does, but I would suggest go back and listen to it so you can get some extra information there. And I wanted to point out something that Travis from Talking Taker said on their episode back a while back when they did Backlash, and I thought it was a notable thing that I didn't even think of, and that is when Stone Cold Steve Austin turned, he became babyface for the first time at WrestleMania 13. It was at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois, exactly where this show is, same place. And here he is now in his first pay-per-view as a heel, first pay-per-view back as a heel, is in the same place. So I just thought that was a little interesting trivia. I mean, obviously we know he became a heel at WrestleMania, but this is his first pay-per-view since. So, cool little note there that Travis picked up on. And now, like I said, I want to get into some of the match highlights. The match is going to start off with Austin and Triple H, and they're stalling getting into the ring. So they're doing this heel tactic where they're just not diving right into the ring. They're trying to lure Kane and Undertaker to come after them. So that's how they started up. And I just wanted to note that because of the way that Austin and Triple H have changed. Now they've become like this chicken shit type of heel character rather than, these badass heel characters. Depending on who they're up against will determine how they act. So if it's with the Hardy Boys, then they'll just go right after the Hardy Boys. And
like, how cowardly are they going to be? Really depends on the strength of their opponent.
Right, exactly. So Kane and Undertaker definitely going to be cowards. So Kane has his arm injured at this point. So his arm and his elbow is all wrapped up. He's selling his injury throughout the match. And Austin gets tagged in, and he wants to beat on Kane. This is a funny spot where Austin gets in, and then immediately Kane tags the Undertaker, and Austin's like, whoa. Never mind, I don't want to be in the ring. And then he retreats to the corner and cowers in the corner. So I thought that was a funny spot just to show how Austin is just, oh no, I'm backing away from the Undertaker. I thought I was going to be dealing with the injured guy, not the strong guy.
It's like that surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. So Taker gets in there. When Taker gets into the ring, he's kind of clearing house. He wants to be in the ring for most of the match because Kane is injured. So a lot of times he'll avoid tagging Kane in on purpose because he doesn't think Kane is ready to be in the match. So looking out for his baby brother. Kane is eventually going to be like, nah, I'm sick of that. I want to get in the match. And Kane just slaps Undertaker on the back, and that's how he gets in. And that's the point. From that point on, Kane is stuck in the match for the rest of the match. So I thought that was well done. Where, all right, Kane, you want to be in the match? Now you're not going to be able to get out. And Undertaker's left on the apron the rest of the match. So Austin and Triple H do their best to isolate Kane from tagging Undertaker in. Austin nails Kane with the steel chair at the announce table. And then Taker's going to get down from the apron and run around the ring to go after Austin. And Austin runs towards the entrance area. Taker grabs a chair. And the man of the hour, Earl Hebner, he grabs the steel chair away. He does his little bullshit move where he always just grabs the chair from behind the guy. He's done that so many times.
Yeah, pulls down. Yeah. It's like, hey.
Give me that chair. And he always gets away with pulling it away from the guy. So he does that. And Triple H slams Kane's arm on the steel steps meanwhile. And then starts to work on his arm in the ring. Kane's going to do a one-armed side suplex to Austin. Austin tags in Triple H. Triple H nails the pedigree on Kane. Triple H doesn't go for the cover, which was very strange. Austin gets tagged in, and he goes for the cover instead. Didn't make any sense. And we talked about it on the watch-along, how it's just like out of the blue. Like, why would that even happen? and nobody had an answer for that. But Taker breaks up the count, and Taker chokeslams Austin and gets out of the ring. And Earl is telling Triple H to get out of the ring, so he doesn't see all that's been going on. And then that brings us to the finish. Stephanie gets up on the ring apron. She starts to distract Earl Hebner. So Earl's not seeing, again, what's happening in the ring. So Stephanie's doing that to prevent Earl from making a 3 count after from Kane to Austin, rather. So Stephanie pulls Earl. Earl's not going to put up with her shit. And he shoves Stephanie off the ring apron and tells her to fuck. Yeah, and then tells her to fuck off. So Earl goes to make the count, but Austin kicks out on 2 because Austin had enough time to recover. And Earl's going to get knocked down at one point, and he's having trouble standing, and he's dazed. He doesn't know where to look. He actually doesn't even know what to sell. He gets hit in the back, and then he starts like scratching his armpit. So he doesn't.
So awkward.
He doesn't even know what to sell there. And Kane finally
acts like a monkey.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. So Kane is finally able to reach Undertaker and make the tag, but Earl is monkeying around, and he doesn't see Undertaker get tagged in. So Earl does his thing where he starts to yell at the guy, "I didn't see you tag him. I didn't see you tag him." Undertaker doesn't care. He's kicking everybody's ass at this point anyway. But Undertaker goes and hits the last ride on Triple H, but Earl doesn't make the count. Earl makes it look like he's going to go do the count. He does his whole big, impressive slide across the ring. And
loves that slide.
He
loves doing that slide.
He always makes sure he's on the opposite side when that spot's coming up so he can dive and be like all over the camera. And he just slides in across. See, I said I wasn't going to shit on Earl, but I just had to because of that picture. It's like the whole reason why I got that picture is because I shit on Earl. So might as well shit on Earl here. So Earl doesn't make the 3 count because he didn't see the tag. Earl has this huge attitude with the Undertaker. He's explaining to the Undertaker he didn't see the tag. So Taker's like, bullshit. Taker grabs Earl, but from behind, Austin comes up, and that's when Taker stumbles into Earl. Earl falls out of the ring. Austin's able to low blow Taker, and then he stuns Kane. Taker tosses Austin out of the ring. Triple H is the actual legal man. So he and Kane are both down in the middle of the ring. Stephanie is off camera, gives Triple H a tag team championship belt. Taker punches Austin over the guardrail at the ringside, and they both go off into the crowd, which doesn't make any sense because this entire match, Undertaker's been trying to protect Kane, but now he's leaving the area, so Kane is left alone. Kane nails Stephanie with a big boot to the face. It looked great. It looked like a legit hit. And the crowd has finally just come alive at that point when all this finish is happening. Mr. McMahon runs into the ring. He has the sledgehammer. And Kane grabs Vince by the throat, but Triple H is able to take the sledgehammer and hit Kane in the arm with it, the busted arm, rather. And then he nails him in the head. Vince goes out and grabs Earl Hebner, rolls him into the ring, and Earl, who's dazed and confused, just makes a 3 count. Whereas moments ago, I didn't see you tag in, so I'm not making a count. But now it's just, I've been knocked out, so I'm fine to make a 3 count. Just contradicts everything that he was just doing. I didn't see it, but
business as usual for our boy.
Yeah. It's fine 3 minutes ago, but now it's not. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's Earl in a nutshell. And we got new tag team champions. We got the 2-man power trip. They're the new champs. They have all the gold. And Austin and Triple H, they walk away. As the champs, Undertaker is looking on in disbelief. And that's that. That's how Backlash wraps up. Kane is still beat down. Undertaker is like, what the hell just happened? And the bad guys are the champs of everything. world champ, IC champ, and a tag champs. So
Every A title they own.
yeah,
Every relevant title.
so, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't have the light heavyweight, obviously, and all that other shit. But I could see one of them getting hardcore.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that wraps up Backlash. It was a good match. It was a fun match to watch. Obviously, we have some gripes with what happened there, but not bad. It's just typical
Yeah,
WWF.
it was definitely more fun when we watched it with the guys. So,
Which I would think watching wrestling with friends is always better than watching
Yeah,
wrestling alone. Anyway, even though we all do it, I do it more than a lot of people do, and it's definitely more fun with somebody to talk to, because then you can start to make fun of things.
yeah, it becomes comedy.
Right. All right, so let's move on to the next night. It's Raw 414 from April 30th, 2001. It's live Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're going to start off with the promo with Mr. McMahon and Stephanie McMahon. And Vince says he's proud of Stone Cold and Triple H because they refuse to live a life of mediocrity, unlike all the people in the crowd. McMahon also goes on to say that Austin and Triple H not afraid of failure. And that stood out to me because the whole reason why Austin made a deal with Vince McMahon is because he was afraid to lose to The Rock on the big stage.
Yep.
That's the exact reason that he gave. He said, I couldn't afford to lose. And he was afraid to lose. And that's why he joined. But here's Vince McMahon saying, Austin is not afraid of failure. I mean, that doesn't go against Vince's character because his character is to be a bold-faced liar. So
That's what he do.
Right. It's not really something that goes against him. But anyway, it was funny that he said it. All right, so McMahon is proud of Austin and Triple H for winning the titles, but Mr. McMahon is pissed about the boot to the face that Kane gave to Stephanie. And I was thinking, like, if he wants to be pissed at somebody, this is one thing that I was just not going to say, but I'm going to say it now because of Alex. If he wants to be pissed at somebody, he's mad at Kane for kicking Stephanie in the face. How about Earl shoving Stephanie off the ring apron and telling her to fuck off? I think Earl should be punished for that. Should have been suspended.
Just turning everyone on Earl.
They should have brought his ass out like they did a while back. Remember they brought his ass out and punished him? Because that was awesome. They should have done it again. So anyways, the crowd's cheering. Vince McMahon loses his shit. He curses out everybody in the crowd because of how disgusting they are. They want his daughter to be hurt, even though he wanted his daughter to be hurt back in those ministry days.
Yeah, no shit.
So McMahon says that Stone
sacrificing her and shit.
Right. It's all crazy. They forget about the past, though. They just move on.
It's like an episode of The Simpsons.
Right, yeah, there's no continuity. McMahon says that Stone Cold will defend his world title against Kane later in the night. And Stephanie then announces that the new tag team champions are going to come out here. And they come out once again to the No Chance in Hell music to garner some heat from the crowd, of course. But we got a new shirt alert for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it's Do Unto Others. Hence the title of our episode this week, his new shirt. And that's on the front. It says Stone Cold Steve Austin in small letters underneath that. And then there's a rattlesnake on the back. After the two-man power trip come out to the ring, Linda McMahon comes out with her shitty WrestleMania 10 music.
She is so plain.
The music doesn't fit the era for her to be coming out. They could have given her something different.
Doesn't fit her either. It's just weird.
No, it's not like, it's like happy. And she just walks out boring. And
if she was Ellen, it would work.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, because Ellen would be out there dancing. And imagine Linda McMahon going out there like Ellen, just spinning around, dancing. And oh, shit, that's funny. But anyways, no, it's Linda McMahon in her pantsuit just walking out very sternly. And then she grabs it. She tries to be hip, though, and she talks on the mic. But comes off like robotic.
Yeah, we all know she's not hip.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying.
You're not jive turkey.
Yeah.
That's from The Simpsons, so that relates to what you were just saying. Don't jive me, turkey. You got to sass it. All right, so anyway, Linda says that she will halt the divorce proceedings if Vince will agree to a few conditions. And those conditions is that Kane will get the night off, but Austin will still have to defend his title, but he will defend it against The Undertaker. She didn't say it like that, though. She said,
No.
The Undertaker. Whatever.
And he will fight against The Undertaker.
Yes, that's better.
That's crappy.
Yeah, no, better than what I just did. Mine was like a witch. Go against The Undertaker.
Still better than the way Linda did it. If Linda did it like that, that'd have been funny.
All right, so now we go to our first promo. Stone Cold is not happy with Miss McMahon for allowing this match to be made just the night after having to go through that tag team title match. So let's take a listen to what Stone Cold had to say. We'll be right back.
Easy now.
You know, your divorce is screwing everything up, man. It's fine with me if you're gonna get a divorce, but it's affecting business, and I don't like that.
I understand. I'm doing the best I can at the moment with what I've got to deal with.
Well, we just won the tag titles from Undertaker and Kane last night. Me defending the WWF title ain't right. I disagree.
I do too. I'll think of something.
Well, you better think of something and real fast.
All right, so backstage, Austin is talking to McMahon, and he's telling Vince, like, your divorce is screwing everything up. It's fine that you're getting divorced, but it's affecting me, my business, and I don't like that. And Austin says that he doesn't agree with having to defend the world title tonight because he defended it last night, and they won the tag team titles. He goes, it ain't right. I disagree. Vince says, don't worry about it. I'll think of something. Austin tells Vince that he better think of something real fast. Then from there, we move on to The Undertaker having a backstage interview. And as we said last week, he's getting pretty good on the mic in this new character, in the Deadman Inc. character. So
He's awesome on the mic.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just good. I think he's fucking awesome.
Right, he's a legit badass now. So I thought this one was a good one to play. It's pretty quick, so take a listen to The Undertaker as he cuts a little quick promo. Take a listen.
Undertaker, tonight you have the opportunity, one-on-one, to become the World Wrestling Federation champion as you face Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, well, we'll get to all that in just a second. I want to talk about last night, Lillian. Last night, Triple H and Austin, them boys had themselves a hell of a game plan. They took Kane's injured arm, and they beat on it, and they punched on it, and they kicked on it. And you know what? Their game plan, it worked. They won the match. Good job, boys. But Lillian, how do you think they really feel? How do you think they feel knowing that it took Triple H, it took Austin, that bitch, and the boss to beat a one-armed man? You know, if I was those two boys, I'd be damn scared right now. Because they gotta know that that arm of Kane's, it's gonna heal. And when it does, I wouldn't give 2 cents for either one of their sorry asses. Now that brings us to tonight. And that's where things really get good. Because tonight, Austin, he comes face to face with Big Daddy Deadman. And deep down inside where it counts, Lillian, he knows he can't beat me one-on-one. Take a look at my shirt, Lillian. Read that out loud for me, will you?
Try me, I'll make you famous.
Do you know what that means? You do? Well, I don't think I explained it well enough to Triple H and Austin. You see, this ain't a shirt. This is a code. This is a way of life. Try me, I'll make you famous. What that means is, if you screw with me or my family, I'm gonna hurt you.
All right, so Undertaker points out that Austin and Triple H had a hell of a game plan last night, trying to cut off Kane from from their side of the ring and not allowing the Taker to get into the match. And he says, you know, you had a hell of a game plan and it worked. It worked out great. You won the match. Good job, boys. So Taker calls them out for having to have so much help, though. They had to get help from the bitch and the boss, Stephanie and Vince McMahon. Taker warns them that Kane's arm will heal. When it does, they'll be in trouble. And then the best line here, tonight, Austin comes face to face with Big Daddy Deadman. And he knows he can't beat me one-on-one. And I did have to call bullshit on that because Austin beat Undertaker in singles matches before. You know, what most notable, the main event at SummerSlam 1998. The Undertaker lost to Stone Cold in that match. So another good example of an Undertaker promo. And good shit there. You know, just stern, badass type of stuff there. And from there, just a quick little note is Triple H is going to defend the IC title against Test. Triple H gets DQ'd in less than a minute after a chair shot to Test outside of the ring. Mr. McMahon just wanted Triple H to annihilate Test because Test got involved in the family business. What he means by that is Test got involved in the Big Show Shane McMahon match, and he was not happy about that, so he wanted Triple H to go fuck up Test. So Triple H powerbombs Test through the announce booth, totally destroys Test. Kane runs out and nails Triple H, and Triple H runs away from Kane. And then backstage, Triple H tells Vince that he's sick of Undertaker and Kane. You know, this game is just about to start. More lame shit from Triple H. So we go from Undertaker becoming cool finally, and Triple H just comes right out there with lame quotes. You know, the game is about to start. I'm about to hit play on it.
Fucking sucks. This is why we don't like Triple H, because that's like his material.
It is. And if the game doesn't work, I'm going to take the cartridge out and blow in it real quick. See if it works again. Start all over. All right, so we get to the main event match. It's the WWF Championship match. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker, kicking off at 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we know that's the last 10 minutes of the show, as always. So
Yep.
Austin's music plays for his entrance, finally. It is not coming out to Vince McMahon's music. He doesn't walk out, though. And then it cuts to the backstage area, and we see Kane getting attacked by Stone Cold and Triple H. So Taker sees that happening on the Titantron. He runs backstage. And then they go to commercial break, and then we come back. We have Triple H and Kane on the ground backstage, and Austin and Undertaker fighting back to the entrance area. And Taker fights Austin all the way back to the ringside area. And Taker finally gets in the ring. And then Earl Hebner calls for the bell to begin the match. Now we get to the match. The one thing I did notice as Undertaker was coming out here, he's rocking like a top-knot ponytail.
I call it the Jericho ponytail.
Yeah.
That's what Jericho used to rock.
I was like, well, that's different. All right. So I guess you can do that when you have a new badass character, is you can just do whatever you want. So there's that. So Austin goes for a stunner in this match right away. Taker counters with a big boot to the face. Triple H runs in immediately with the sledgehammer, and Taker lays Triple H out real quick. But Earl Hebner calls for the bell to end the match in a DQ. So 2 very quick matches for Triple H and Stone Cold. Both matches only lasted less than 2 minutes and were DQs. So I don't know what the plan was there, but I guess it's just all storyline driven. They don't want to have actual matches. But in the post match, you have Austin and Stone Cold attack Undertaker. Kane comes to the ring slowly. Austin nails Kane with a brutal chair shot and attacks Kane's injured arm with the chair. Triple H sets up Kane's arm on the steel steps, and Austin goes nuts with the steel chair. Just goes completely nuts like he did with the Hardy Boys and Lita. But he's doing that onto Kane on the steel steps. Austin sets up the Pillmanizer, so it's been a while since we've seen that. We haven't seen it since he was a heel. So he does that. He gets the arm situated inside the chair. Austin climbs up to the top of the steel steps and then jumps down. And it always looks so brutal. I mean, I don't know what the magic trick is behind it because I don't know how they could fucking fake it, but they got away, and it looks awesome. just looks brutal as hell when they do that Pillmanizer. So Austin continues to go nuts on Kane and also the Undertaker. So Austin, even right before the Pillmanizer, Undertaker's crawling to the steel steps inside the ring. Austin just gives him the double bird, pegs him off, and then jumps and lands on the chair. So I thought that was pretty badass. And Austin, like I said, just continues to go nuts on Kane. And Kane and Undertaker lay beat down outside of the ring as the show comes to a close. So, two-man power trip has finally gotten one over on the Undertaker and Kane. I mean, they won the night before. They won the titles off of them. But here they are again, coming out strong.
Yeah.
Looking like, I mean, they did it sneaky, obviously, but...
Yeah, not as late. Yeah, but they still look...
Yeah, it wasn't as chicken shit either.
Yeah. It's kind of methodical, if you think about it.
Right.
Which I guess goes back to fucking Triple H in his game. Bullshit.
His game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can always use that card where he's intelligent because it's all a game. Yeah. Bullshit. Anyway, let's move on now to SmackDown 88 from May 3rd.
Because they're really outsmart, not to interrupt you, but they're essentially outsmarting Kane and Undertaker at this point.
Right, they are. Yep.
So,
but they have the help of Vince McMahon, Stephanie.
Yeah, but
and that's their point.
That's the ploy. You know what I mean? That's their angle.
Right. Yeah, good point. All right, so that brings us to the next SmackDown 88 from Indianapolis, Indiana. It was taped on May 1st, 2001. And it's another promo with The Undertaker. So where we just left off, Undertaker's beat down, so we know he's not going to be a happy camper here. So we kick off with a video package, and it's from after Raw. So this is a clip of something we didn't see on Raw. And what happened was Austin kicks over Undertaker's bike. He just walks by, kicks it over, and then starts to whack it with the steel chair a few times.
Every time I see a biker get... You ever see Pee Wee Herman, obviously, the movie?
Yeah.
And he knocks all the bikers off.
Yeah.
Anytime I see, in anything, I see a motorcycle get knocked over, someone knock one over, I just think of the Pee Wee Herman. He knocks on the whole row of, the biker gangs. Then he heads inside, right, and he starts doing that fucking
tequila.
Anyhow, so that's what I thought of when I saw this. I was like,
Oh, that's great. All right, so in the crowd, there is a Big Daddy Deadman sign, so somebody caught on to it.
Someone likes it.
Yeah, someone liked it. So Undertaker heads to the ring. He has his chain. He has this chain in hand now, and Michael Cole says, perhaps it's an equalizer. Okay. And that is a word that Vince McMahon has used on commentary in the past. So, Vince McMahon fed him that line to say, oh, call it his equalizer.
Yeah.
It's an equalizer, pal. It's not a weapon. Can't call it a weapon here. It's an equalizer. And that I just thought of that off the top of my head, but that's probably the logic, is that, no, we're not going to call it a weapon. We're not going to call it a foreign object. Call it an equalizer. Anyway, so it is announced that Stone Cold is going to defend his title at Judgment Day against The Undertaker on May 20th.
Yep.
Taker says that Judgment Day is still weeks away, but he wants some revenge for his brother tonight. He wants revenge now. He says that you want to be a tough guy, Triple H, and some bald guy is running around here in Daisy Dukes. I laugh big time on that because Stone Cold's shorts are so high up.
He's the only guy that get away with them.
And it doesn't look so bad over the past couple of years because he has the knee braces.
Yeah. So, it does kind of hide it.
Right. But he is right. He is wearing fucking little daisy-ass dukes, like halfway up his leg, up his thighs. So, nice line there from The Undertaker. Goes on to say, I warned those boys, don't mess with me, don't mess with my family. So he says, tonight, let the pain and suffering begin. Because tonight, I'm going to make them boys famous. And then That Taker says Kane is not sweating the broken arm, and that Triple H and Austin will have to deal with that down the line. But tonight they have to deal with the Deadman. And then Undertaker mentions how in the past he lit Kane's face on fire. So just imagine what he'll do to Stone Cold and Triple H. And then Taker calls them out. Says somebody better get down here right now. But instead of them, it's Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon heads out to the ring. McMahon says that he's sorry about Kane's broken arm. He really is sorry about it. He says he's genuine about that. And we know that's bullshit.
Yeah. Anytime someone has to reassure you
Right, I'm serious.
they're being genuine, they're not.
Right. Vince says he's happy that Kane is on the shelf, though. Says, so now you're all by yourself. And who the hell do you think you are? You're a real American badass. You come out here with a weapon. You call out Stone Cold and Triple H. Who the hell are you to call out anybody? So Vince McMahon on his high horse. It's funny when he does that with The Undertaker. Because it's like, Undertaker's not going to put up with that shit. He tried that shit with The Undertaker back during 98.
Yep.
And Undertaker even then didn't put up with it. Never mind.
Yeah, he
like
always
Taker.
pushes back at Vince.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, more than ever. I mean, he's got to live up to that look.
Right. McMahon tells him, you're gonna have a special opponent tonight. Someone that has a big score to settle with you, pal. So McMahon goes on to say, get your dead ass out of my ring. The Taker tells Vince to take me out of the ring. Like, take me out of the ring then. And then he goes, let me remind you, my name is The Undertaker. And what I don't get, I take.
I love that line. This promo was kind of great.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
From his part to it, to McMahon coming out.
Yeah, I liked how he mentioned lighting Kane's face on fire.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that was his brother. So
Right, so yeah, he did that to his brother that he cares about now. He'll fuck you guys up. That was cool. And then we move on to Triple H defending his IC title again against Jeff Hardy. Well, the main notable thing here is that Austin is on commentary, so he has some things to say back to what The Undertaker said. So this match happens right after that promo. So everything that Undertaker just said is fresh in his mind. So Austin is very good on commentary here. Austin says he can't wait to take on The Undertaker at Judgment Day, and that The Undertaker shouldn't be worrying about his shorts and his wardrobe. So Austin totally picked up on the Daisy Dukes comment and had to say something about it. Shouldn't be worrying about my Daisy Dukes. So while this match is going on, all the attention is really just on the commentary, which is funny because Triple H is one of the big characters. Jeff Hardy had won the title from him. You would think this would be, oh, wow, this would be a good match. And they're not even talking about the match the entire time. And if you're not watching the match, then you don't know what's going on because they're not talking about it. So Austin says he's not going to just come out here because The Undertaker called him out. He's not some damn puppy dog and does whatever somebody tells him to do. And he also goes on to say that, beating up Lita with that chair was the highlight of my career. The highlight of his career is beating up this female wrestler. I guess at this point she is. On a mid-card status. That's the highlight of his career. So Austin says he will beat on The Undertaker's bike and anything else he owns any day of the week. And then he just, because he notices what's going on in the ring, he just cuts off onto a side note and says, also, Jeff Hardy's purple hair makes me sick.
Yeah.
I love what
it's like he meant to get that in earlier and then had to end with it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. It's like he wanted to say it right away at the beginning of the match, but the whole conversation just turned to Undertaker shit.
And he really liked that line, so he's like, I gotta get that in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing he does. He'll notice something that he wants to make fun of somebody about, and he has to get it in all the time. So at the 20-minute mark in this match, Undertaker jumps in from the crowd. He wraps a chain around Austin and begins to punch him at the announce booth. And Austin is able to break free and run away for now. Then Taker follows Austin up the ramp. Triple H wins the match, meanwhile, after a pedigree. Jeff Hardy is going to miss a flying dive, and then Triple H hits that pedigree to retain the IC title. Triple H immediately runs out of the ring and goes up to the ramp to follow Austin and the Undertaker. So now we're backstage, and Taker is looking for Austin. Austin jumps Undertaker from behind, but Undertaker gains control pretty quickly. He begins to beat on Austin. He grabs Austin and tosses him through a glass window, which was kind of like the makeshift room that was at WrestleMania 17 during the Hardcore Championship match. The same kind of just, random room with the plate glass window there that they break again. So it had to be set up, is my point. And at WrestleMania 17, it had to have been set up too. So you have Austin thrown through the window, and he eventually gets put on a stretcher, and the commentary or the audio is pretty funny there. So take a listen to that, and we'll be right back.
Somebody Undertaker threw him through a plate glass window, that's why.
I don't deserve
He's got
this.
glasses in both eyes.
He's got glass in both
Listen,
eyes. Come on,
genius,
let's get him to the hospital.
just bring
Let's
him
go.
to the hospital. He's got glass in his eyes, you idiot.
I don't deserve this.
Be careful.
Try not to blink and it's already scratched.
Son of a...
We're going to the hospital.
Yes, we're going right away to the hospital. They can't help you here. I'll get that door, please. Easy now.
Who the hell does he think he is?
Hang on a second. Triple H, you come out here, get on the other side of this, will you? Make sure we got you.
Don't drop me, I got you. Damn it. Vince, I don't deserve this.
I know you don't. Just relax. The ambulance is right here. Easy.
I didn't do nothing to that man. I was sitting there doing a color commentary while Triple H beat Jeff Hardy up. He had no business coming out there.
All right, just calm down,
He had
Steve,
no
all right?
business. Bernie,
Be careful.
I said, you damn right. My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I shouldn't be here.
Put your bag away.
Hook me.
Just relax. Tell you what,
Step off.
you idiots get lost. I'll go with him. You guys get lost. I'll go with him, all right?
Okay.
I'm with you, Steve.
I'm glad somebody came along for the ride.
I got you.
It's the biggest crock of
All right, we're
crap
ready
I've
to go.
ever seen.
Come on, let's go.
Driver, go! Hell, boys!
Just get us out of here.
Drive! Get it out of here, damn it! Go!
All right, so we have Austin on the stretcher, and he's yelling. He's like, "I don't deserve this."
Yeah,
And-
I love. He's like delirious. It's stupid the way he's acting, but it works.
he's being such a baby too.
Yeah, wicked whiny bitch.
Oh, so Austin is rolled into the ambulance. He's like, "I didn't do nothing to that man. I didn't do nothing. I was sitting on color commentary while Triple H beat up Jeff Hardy. He had no business coming out there. My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I shouldn't be here." And then Triple H gets into the ambulance with him. And Austin's like, "Oh, thank God somebody came with me." Like being a little bitch. So Triple H and Austin demand that the driver get moving. It's like, "Driver, let's go! Let's go, driver!" And then you heard it. The Undertaker is in the driver's seat. "Hello, boys!" And Undertaker just proceeds to beat the hell out of Austin some more. and Austin his stretcher gets tossed out of the back of the ambulance, and at that point, Undertaker is just pounding away, and they sound legit. Some of the shots.
Yeah, they do. No, they do. I thought the same thing.
They look
great. I know you can make good sound with his gloves like you could, but those look hard.
I've always heard backstage that they want it to be as real as possible because it's just much more difficult to record it the way that they can do it in the ring. If that makes any sense, or it just it looks more up close, so they generally will be a little bit more stiff if it's backstage like that.
I'm buying what you're selling.
All right. So I've just heard that before. So Undertaker's kicking ass there, and eventually Austin does get put back into the ambulance and gets taken to the medical facility, as Vince McMahon would say.
It's a very vicious scene.
It is. But it's a great scene.
It seems more legit than like the Taker one, where he's like, "Where to, Stephanie?"
Yeah, that one they just drive off, I think.
Yeah, this one's like fucking wild. Like I forgot what happened from here. I'm like, does he like leave with them? Obviously he doesn't, but
right, Undertaker gets carried off by security or just pushed
like
away.
A ton of security.
Right. And then the ambulance leaves after that.
It's good shit.
Yeah. And then
very underrated feud I'm noticing in Stone Cold's career that, I overlooked.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, just Austin and Undertaker in general is it just carries out throughout his stay there. Just numerous times, but it never gets the Vince McMahon Austin feud or the Rock Austin.
Yeah, Vince McMahon. Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Right. Undertaker is underneath all of those, whereas he's the one that actually has the most pay-per-view matches with Stone Cold. And they've had the most angles together than anybody else, too. But everyone just doesn't talk about it. Except for on Talking Taker and the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. We're talking about it. So anyway, we move on now to Deborah backstage. And I wanted to cut out all of her stuff, but there was one good part, I guess. Deborah goes to talk to The Undertaker. She first goes to Vince and Stephanie, and she does some horrible acting there, where she's supposed to act concerned for her husband, but it just comes off like so shitty, where you don't even believe it at all.
Yeah, no one's buying that.
So that pretty much sucks. So if you want to see some shitty acting, go back and check that segment out. But
as good as Stephanie can be, sometimes she's also very. But you understand,
she's
a lot of this is
Deborah.
Live. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That too. Oh, you're talking about Deborah?
Deborah and Stephanie. Yeah.
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 But who you said sucks here?
Deborah sucks.
Oh. Well, I think they both suck.
Well, no, you're right about Stephanie. She wasn't that good in the scene either. She was the one.
I mean, Deborah always sucks. So
yeah, Deborah just made it horrible though. Deborah's reactions to her hearing about Austin got beat up by the Undertaker and is in the hospital. She kind of does that like slaps her knee thing, like what? Really? like that's not how you should be reacting. You should be not like that. You should be
flipping out or crying.
Right. Exactly.
Either angry or crying.
Right. You should be. What do you mean? What do you?
Yeah.
No. Oh, really? Oh, no.
I think I've been desensitized to Deborah's lack of anything except like showing her cleavage.
And even I'm losing my reaction for that too.
Yeah, I lost my reaction to that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like cool when she first came on and we were covering again. I was like, all right, yeah, like I remember Deborah back in the day.
Yeah, now she's just been around too long.
Yeah, by like the third time we covered it, was like, oh yeah, suit, women's suit, and same old shit, all oiled up, whatever.
Yeah, with the women's suit, it just looks like it's all pushed up. Anyway, it's like they don't look. I mean, obviously they're not real. But I was gonna say they don't even look real. Yeah, they're not real. But they don't look like their breast.
Hey, we're picky. We're picky. We're spoiled in the WWE universe.
Like basketballs.
Soccer balls.
All right, so the one thing that she did do well, I guess, and this is not even that great of a thing, but she goes to talk to the Undertaker. Undertaker tells Deborah nothing to do with her, with his stuff, to deal with Stone Cold. Has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with wives. I think Undertaker's slipping that in there for a reason, because his wife is about to be part of the storyline in the weeks to come. So
Yep.
Nothing to do with wives. So Sarah is going to be coming soon. Sarah Taker. And once he says that about has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with your wives, Deborah turns and smacks the shit out of the Undertaker. I mean, fucking great. And then the Undertaker's reaction is like, whew, what? And then he just tells her, you hit like your old man. And why don't you go run along and tell him that?
Yeah. He saved the scene.
Yeah. All right, so we move on now to another promo between Undertaker and Vince McMahon. And you have Vince McMahon come out, and he's yelling at the crowd for cheering for The Undertaker. And he goes, you won't be cheering for long, because when The Undertaker faces my hand-picked opponent, you won't be cheering at all. This is a man who has a grudge with The Undertaker. Then Taker comes out to the ramp. He walks to the ring. He says, this is not your yard. Vince McMahon is saying this to Undertaker after he came out. He says, this is not your yard. This is my ring, damn it. So Taker gets in that ring, and Vince McMahon continues on. He says, you think you're so big? You think you're so bad? This is like something that's you say on the playground. You think you're so big? You think you're so bad?
Yeah.
And he goes, let me remind you of one thing. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. And then this is great. Taker just looks at him, turns, just like Deborah did to him, turns and just, boom, punch right to the face, knocks McMahon out cold. It's like, I'm not even going to listen to you yelling and screaming shit right now. Shut up.
Is that the definition of, was it cold clocked?
Yeah, cold cocked, yeah.
Cocked, whatever the fucking word is.
Oh, clocked. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's clocked.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Knock the clock off.
It's one of those things you hear, you just never really second guessed it. You hear what you hear and you just repeat it.
You knocked this dick dead in the dirt.
Yeah, that one's clear.
All right. So Taker is he looks to Stephanie, because Stephanie's in the ring too, and he tells Stephanie, when Daddy wakes up, tell him the Undertaker took his yard back. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Saying, this is my ring and that. No, I just knocked your ass out, and this is my yard. So after that, they come back from commercial. Vince has an ice pack, and he says he needs a new jaw. I need a new jaw.
That's how fucked up he is.
Yeah. So he says when he finds out who he's facing tonight, he's going to be paying big time. So they're building up this mystery opponent. What a letdown it becomes.
I was wicked disappointed.
So Austin comes back to the arena. He's back now, and Austin has a huge bandage covering his left eye. And Vince is telling him to calm down. Austin says Triple H was arrested. He's at the hospital. He got in trouble over at the hospital because he was raising too much hell. And I talked about this on the watch along last week, but for those that didn't listen to it, it just reminds me of the kid that stole his grandmother's car for doing hood rat stuff.
Yeah, doing hood rat stuff to my friends.
Just doing hood rat stuff. Why is Triple H arrested? Oh, he's just raising too much hell at the hospital. Doing hood rat stuff. So anyways, The Undertaker is going to pay. So Stone Cold's pissed. The Undertaker's going to pay. My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I don't deserve this again. He's still going on with that. I'm the WWF champion. I don't deserve it. So Austin grabs a chair. He walks out of the room. Vince yells for him to watch out for himself. Don't do anything crazy. Watch out. And then we go to the main event match, which is The Undertaker versus a mystery opponent. So prior to the match starting, Vince is telling the mystery opponent, you can't see who the opponent is. It's off camera. You just see Vince talking into a room. And Vince tells the mystery opponent not to forget what The Undertaker did to him. That Taker deserves the revenge that's coming to him and everyone else. And Vince is counting on him. And that Austin is going to make his way to the ringside area now with this steel chair. And he's got this bandage-ass face. And as he's heading down, through the backstage area, he just looks nuts. He's got the steel chair. He's snarling like a fucking pirate with the bandage. So Vince is putting that guy on notice. Hey, you better do your job here. And Austin's coming down to the ring. Now Taker comes down to the ring, and he's got his Hercules chain and his equalizer. Vince tells Taker that Austin is
I like
back.
how you call it our Hercules chain.
What's that?
I like how you call it the Hercules chain.
He's going to start spinning it around like Hercules. So Vince tells Taker that Austin is in the back, and then he announces, who the mystery opponent is. So Vince announces that it's Rikishi.
Boo.
Yeah, boom. Rikishi has
this does play out pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Rikishi has a score to settle with the Undertaker, and that's because Undertaker chokeslammed Rikishi off the Hell in a Cell at Armageddon back in December. But the one thing I didn't really get about that is okay, I get that, but meanwhile, in between all that, there was another feud already. After Royal Rumble, Rikishi started teaming up with Haku.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Haku and Rikishi were going up against Undertaker and Kane, all throughout January into February. So Rikishi was already getting revenge on Undertaker when he was teaming up with Haku. But that was just swept under the rug, and they're acting like Rikishi just came back, that he wasn't teaming with Haku that whole time. It's like he's been gone since Armageddon. It's like, no, he was here in January and February. What are you talking about?
It worked on this guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it works on a lot of people when you don't pay attention, when you don't have to take the note. So anyway, the match is, it's not that bad anyway. Taker kicks some ass in it, though. Taker has his way with Rikishi to start. Rikishi makes a slight comeback at one point, but Rikishi goes for a banzai drop and misses it. Taker, and this was crazy. I thought even when this used to happen with Yokozuna with Undertaker too, Undertaker waits to the very last second to lift his head up on these banzai drops that you feel like it is inches away from the guy's ass landing on his neck or the back of his head as he's lifting up. But he has his timing down, and he's able to miss these banzai drops right in time. But anyway, we move on from there. Taker hits a DDT on Rikishi. Taker clotheslines Rikishi, and Rikishi does his great inside-out flip that we love. That's just his great spot. Big guy just flipping like that.
Yep.
Taker nails.
A guy like that's not supposed to do that.
No, and it just shows the agility that he has, and the athleticism. Taker nails the choke slam. Austin walks down the ramp with the steel chair. Taker grabs his chain. Austin goes to run in, but backs up when Taker whips his chain at Austin. Austin also loses his steel chair in the process. So I that was a pretty cool, a cool spot there. As Austin is, thinks he's gonna run in, but no, I gotta pull back because the Undertaker has this chain, and
the Hercules chain.
Yeah, the Hercules chain. He has the Hercules chain. He whips that at Austin, and Austin just scurries backwards. But he forgets his chair. He had to drop his chair, so now he doesn't have his steel chair anymore. And Taker takes the steel chair and nails Rikishi with it. And then Tim White calls for the DQ at that point. And with Austin looking on from the ramp, Undertaker does his impersonation of Stone Cold and just takes the chair and starts wailing away on Rikishi, showing Austin, this is what I'm going to do to you. You were doing this to my brother, Kane, and you did this to me last week on Raw. Well, this is what I'm going to do to you. And then he just starts wailing away on Rikishi. And Austin's backing up. He looks like he's in fear as he's backing up. And then Undertaker just stares down Austin as the show comes to a close. So that'll wrap up SmackDown from May 3rd of 2001. And then on that weekend, there was the Insurrextion 2001. There was a UK pay-per-view. And we did this on the watch-along last week. So definitely check that out. second watch along that we did on that episode was for this Insurrextion match. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H going against the Undertaker in a handicap match for the WWF Championship. The stipulation was that Undertaker had to pin Stone Cold in order to win the title. The IC title wasn't going to be on the line. Undertaker did win the match, but he pinned Triple H. Obviously, he pinned Triple H, and he didn't win the World Championship. But fun match nonetheless. We actually enjoyed watching this match a little bit more than the Backlash match.
Yes.
And it's very similar to the Backlash match, except that Kane's not there.
Yeah. It's almost like the same script. Yeah, like you said, minus the same guy. Minus one guy.
Right.
So they just took his spots out, so the match is shorter and like more enjoyable.
Right.
Because the Backlash had that slow start.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah. Changed a whole lot there. All right, so definitely go back and check out that match. It's Insurrextion 2001. All right, and that's going to be the end of our coverage on the Stone Cold portion of the show, the Stone Cold storyline. Got through the Insurrextion, but like I said, check that out on the Talking Taker special episode from last week. And we're going to be moving on to Raw from May 7th next week. We're going to try to fit it in this week, but you know, it's not going to fit. we'll go on for too long. So we're going to spare you guys that, and we'll bring that back to you next week. And so we'll kick off with Raw from May 7th, and then we'll do the next 2 weeks leading up to Judgment Day. So that'll be episode 83. And then when we get to episode 84, it'll be kicking off with Judgment Day. All right, so that's what's coming up in the next 2 weeks here. The Bottom Line Wrestling Cast on the Austin portion of the show. We're going to take a quick little break, and you'll hear from Alex Dorio, the man that gave me that Earl Hebner autographed picture. As he talks about his show, Talking Taker.
Hey, on a side note, though, do you have an Earl Hebner action figure?
No.
I wonder if they make one.
They probably do.
So I know you're a collector.
Yeah, there's got to be one.
With like a busted arm or something. You can't be in good condition.
All right, so we'll be right back with the good, bad, and the ugly.
What's up, rattlesnakes? This is Alex Dorio, one half of the Talking Taker podcast. And even though Stone Cold might say DTA, don't trust anybody, we hope you'll trust us when we say if you love the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, you'll also enjoy what we're doing over on Talking Taker. Each week, my lifelong wrestling buddy and fellow creature of the night, Mr. Travis White, and I explore one pay-per-view match in the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. We're right in the heart of the Deadman's second coming in the late 2000s, but we've got over 125 episodes, so you can jump in from the beginning or pick and choose from some of your favorite moments, including every single Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin match analyzed in detail, including a great crossover episode with our buddies here at the Bottom Line Cast. You can listen to us wherever podcasts are found, and you can follow along our journey at Talking Taker on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy.
All right, so now it's time for the good, bad, and ugly roundup. And let's get into the good. JV, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so the good was there's a lot of good. But I think I'm gonna have to go with tough one, but I'm gonna go with Backlash, and that's the big spot with Shane McMahon and Big Show. So Shane McMahon jumping off, what do you call it?
I thought it was just like the staging.
Yeah.
Or part of the Titantron. Yeah, it was part of the set.
Yeah.
The ring
I think
entrance
there's a
set.
specific name for it, but he jumps off something really fucking high, and through the staging and his typical Shane McMahon spot. So even though the match was kind of shit itself, that spot was a savior and a really good point.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Actually, that was going to be my good also. So
yeah, I stole it.
Yeah,
bitch. Come on now, bitch.
Come on now, bitch. But yeah. But if I'm going to have a different one for the sake of it, we're just going to keep giving our props to Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle.
I didn't want to do it again because I give it to fucking Kurt's getting like.
But I like the storyline so much that I want to just update the audience on what's going on with Kurt Angle. So at Backlash, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit have this great 30-minute submission match, and it's just a hell of a match. Angle has a 3-1 lead with 14 minutes left, and Chris Benoit is able to make a comeback and tie it up 3-3. So it goes to sudden death, and Benoit makes Angle tap for the win to get the 4-3 win in sudden death. This is going to lead on to the feud continuing. Kurt Angle is trying to claim that in sudden death, if he was tapping during when the time ran up. So when the time ran up, sudden death should be starting immediately because that's how it is in amateur wrestling. Is that sudden? There is no break. It just continues on after the timer, and they continue on from there. And Benoit was tapping out after the timer went by. So Kurt Angle feels he should have won in sudden death because sudden death should have came immediately. Sudden, not a break.
Yeah. He does have a good point.
So that goes on there. Chris Benoit goes on Raw. And he steals Kurt Angle's medals. And then,
that's awesome.
So
it's like eating dinner with them and shit.
Yeah, he's eating at WWF at the restaurant in New York. He's eating with the medals on. It's just good shit there.
He asked the waiter, right? Oh, do you take gold? I forgot.
Yeah.
Do you take gold?
Right. Yeah, like a MasterCard or something, gold card. Yeah. So that continues on throughout this time here is that Kurt Angle is in search of his medals, but Chris Benoit has them, and it's just funny shit going on there. So that's my good.
There is one thing I wanted to mention about my good with Shane, how he does the sign of the cross before he jumps.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it feel real.
It really does. It really does.
He's like, I know I fucking might get hurt here, so let me do this. And he does. I think he still does that. Not still, but in recent past, he still did that. Whenever he did a big spot.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so those are our goods. Let's move on to bad. I'll go first since you went first, and I'm gonna go with. I feel bad because I always do it, but I'm gonna go with China. It makes sense that a lot of the good is the same week after week because it's just week after week. It's not like it's another year when there's different storylines. Certain storylines are continuing on. And the Kurt Angle ones just happen to be good. And the China ones just happen to be bad. And this is on Raw 414 where China steamrolls Trish Stratus, so I don't like that right off the top of it. And she's slapping Trish's ass after the match. China cuts a promo after she wins. She says that she respects the women, but doesn't have much competition. So from now on, instead of pinning them, I'm going to spank them. I'm going to spank their asses. So then Lita comes out. She challenges China for a title match at Judgment Day. And Lita says, she respects China. China's paved the way for all us girls. And then China's like, okay. And they're smiling, just you go, girl, to each other. and China says this, all right, you bad girl, come get your spanking. So their match is on at Judgment Day.
So bad.
That's my bad. What's your bad, JV?
My bad is Crash Holly chilling backstage with the APA because he's depressed and he's no longer the light heavyweight champion to Kenny Omega. Jerry Lynn. They're kind of taking his money. They're hustling him hard. They're playing poker or some shit, and he's constantly losing. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. So that was funny. But what's even funnier, I think, is that during the match, he's pretending to be drunk on the ring apron. He's like giggling, laughing. You know, like somebody pretending to be drunk would do.
Yeah. Just like he's fake drinking.
Right. He's right.
It looks like he's fake, like someone that doesn't know how to drink beer drinks.
All right. So those are the bads. And for ugly, I only had one that really came up with ugly. Ugly is a tough one because something really has to stand out to suck. And I would say this is not even too bad. I mean, this would fit into bad, but I'll call it ugly. So what happens here is we have this at Backlash 2001. We have a Duchess of Queensberry match, but we have the Duchess of Queensberry backstage, and this match, nobody knows what the rules are, and I guess that's the point of the story is nobody knows what the rules are. But the way it plays out annoys me, and that's why I call it ugly. So what happens here is you have Earl Hebner is involved here. No, actually, he's not involved. He should be involved. Earl Hebner should be involved in this because nobody knows the rules of the match. So I just thought that would be perfect for Earl because he doesn't know what the stipulations usually are anyway. So he should be in this match because it's a match where nobody knows what the stipulation is. So anyway, in this match, Jericho hits a Lionsault on Regal. The Duchess calls for the bell and has announced that the time limit is up for round 1. So nobody knew there was rounds. Nobody knew there was a time limit. But the Duchess just chimes in and says, round 1 is over. Paulie's funny because he acts he's on commentary. He acts like he knows what the rules are. He's like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the rules are.
That's his way of, yeah. That's smart to play it that way.
Yeah. So Regal eventually taps out to the walls of Jericho, but then the Duchess announces, "You can't win via submission." So it's like, what the fuck? What's the rules? Just, I get it. It's a gimmicky thing, but yeah, kind of annoyed me. So I'd call it my ugly. And talking about it now, it actually seems funnier than it was when I was watching it.
It sounds so bad now.
Yeah, I talked myself through it. It's not ugly anymore, but it has earned the spot though. And did you happen to have anything ugly? I mean, we're not always gonna have ugly, but what'd you get?
Yeah, mine was just because I happened to catch it and it was bad. Was Chyna on commentary for the Leader and Molly Holly match. So Chyna comes out, like tits popping and all that shit because that's what she's doing now. And I think she's on like a denim outfit or something. And she's just on commentary and she ends up talking shit to like Leader and from the announce table. And Chyna her voice is just horrible. I never liked when she talked, even as like a teenager. I was like, oh no, she's talking.
I know.
So it was bad.
That voice. Ugh.
I mean, everything going on right there is just kind of weird as it is. So
yeah,
bad.
All right, so that'll wrap up our good, bad, and ugly for this week, and we'll be right back with our bottom line wrap up. All right, let's wrap things up here on the bottom line wrap up. There is nothing to report on the house show rundown. Austin made no appearances on the house show circuit at this point during this week, and that's it. he doesn't seem to be doing a lot of house shows.
He's at a lighter schedule.
Definitely lighter, yeah. All right, so let's move on to our oh hell yeah and oh hell no moments of the week, where we are picking our favorite things from the Austin portion of the episode. So let's start off with oh hell yeah. All right, JV, what do you got for our oh hell yeah moment of the week?
My oh hell yeah moment is, I think it's kind of easy for me to say the ambulance scene with Austin and stuff, because that was really good. But I got to give props to my dude Taker, man, and I got to go with this promo from SmackDown, number 88. The one where he mentions, what I don't get, I take, that line.
Yep.
I don't know. That one really hit me as I was watching it. and I gained much more appreciation for Biker Taker than I did coming in. And it's probably my favorite version of Taker now. If we're gonna
Wow.
be bluntly honest. Like, as much as I like the Deadman, this biker shit is just so good. It just seems natural for him to be doing it the way he has been.
Yeah, it feels like
It doesn't
it's
sound
really
scripted.
him.
Yeah, it's natural. When he's speaking, it flows. Not everything he says is a home run, but it's not like grimy either, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right on, and it's growing on me too. And it's funny for you to even say that, knowing what you've said in the past about,
Oh, I was a big hater.
right, big time hater, and it's all turned around on you. That's cool. So that is oh hell yeah for sure. So yeah, the promo especially is great too. I'm going with what you were alluding to at the beginning of your oh hell yeah moment, and that is the Undertaker kicking Austin's ass and putting him in the hospital, and the whole hello boys, and they're just beating the fuck out of him with those solid punches outside of the ambulance. And really that episode in general, the entire episode is really good, with the exception of what my oh hell no moment of the week will be.
Oh, hell no!
I'm going to go right now. So I liked everything about that episode, but then the oh hell no moment of the week is Rikishi being the mystery opponent. Now, Rikishi will have redemption next week, but as of right now, it's oh hell no for him being the mystery opponent, mainly because there's no real reason for him to be seeking retribution against The Undertaker, because he's already had matches with him since being tossed off the Hell in a Cell. So to me, it didn't make any sense. It's oh hell no. What about you, JV? What's your oh hell no moment of the week?
I gotta agree with you. It's Rikishi. My hopes got a little high when I heard there was a mystery opponent. Obviously, I forgot who the mystery opponent was going to be. So it was as if, I was watching it live, like I had never seen it before because I forgot. And then it was Rikishi. I was like, what a fucking letdown. Like, how do you expect it to be convinced that Rikishi can fucking be like a legit adversary to Undertaker right now?
Right.
Like, that's the threat you have.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So.
If anything, it should have been Triple H, because Triple H wasn't on the show at all.
I said to say, I was even thinking maybe the Big Show.
Oh, he was barely on it. Yeah, Big Show. Yeah, Big Show has been...
Like, I don't know, you just think of someone... A Big Show was just wrestling his son. His son ain't getting along with Vince, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of right. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's a good one,
So that's
too.
saying something, because I'm not the biggest Big Show fan. For me to say, I was disappointed that it wasn't the Big Show.
It's not for anybody to say that.
So that was an easy hell no.
I don't think anybody's ever said they were disappointed it wasn't Big Show. All right, so those are the oh hell yeah and oh hell no moments of the week. We'll be back, like I said, next week with our continuing coverage of Stone Cold from the Raw on May 7th. We'll do SmackDown from May 10th, Raw from the 14th of May, and then SmackDown from the 17th of May. So that'll all be on episode 83 next week. And then the following week will be episode 84, and we'll kick that coverage off with Judgment Day from May 20th. We'll do the Raw from May 21st, and then the SmackDown from the 24th. So that'll be coming up in 2 weeks. So those are our next two episodes, episode 83 and 84. All right, so let's see what our podcast pals are doing this week, though. So Talking Taker, check them out on Twitter, @TalkingTaker. This week, big episode for them. It's WrestleMania 26. It's The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in their second WrestleMania match, the second of the two back-to-back matches there. So definitely check them out, Talking Taker. Also check out Mike Mills on Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where this week they are covering April 1st, 1989 of NWA World Championship Wrestling, as they do every week on Thursdays. Also, check out Talking Taker on Thursdays, sometimes Friday, but usually I think generally now they release on Thursdays. So check them out on Thursday, as well as Booking the Territory on Thursday. check out on Mondays our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Marauder and Michael Quinn. This week is episode 188. They are covering in their opening segment up-and-comers that never came, Scotty Riggs. And this week is week 4 of the Royal Flush of the Worst Talkers. And this week they will be ranking Scott Steiner and Crush Brian Adams. And then they will do a review of WWF Saturday Night's main event from February 8th, 1992. Also check out our friend Jay Free on Free Your Geek. And his newest episode is episode 92, where his special guest is JP Sullivan. And they're going to discuss video games and Game of Thrones. So check out Free Your Geek and follow him, Jay Free at JFree82 and at Free Your Geek on Twitter. Also, check out JV and I's Watch Along show on the Book in the Territory Patreon $5 tier. It's called the Extreme ECW Livecast. We have a new episode coming out same day as this episode, so it's available. And it's episode 29, and we are covering ECW Hardcore TV episodes 61 and 62, June 14th and June 21st of 1994. So check it out. You can follow us at ExtremeCast on Twitter. And again, it's at Book in the Territory, patreon.com/Book in the Territory. Sign up for the $5 tier. Try it out for a month. Whole lot of great content over there. And a bunch of episodes already. 29 of these watch-alongs, plus 4 Supercard special watch-alongs, all in ECW. So check us out over there also. With that said, thanks guys for listening. Special thanks again to Alex from Talking Taker for that great gift you sent me over there of Earl Hebner autographed. Thanks a lot for that. JV, any final words as we head out of here?
No. Nothing.
Hey, you know what? No, I happened to go back. I forgot what I was checking out, but I went back to look at some notes from an early episode.
Yep.
And
how long ago?
How long ago were the notes from?
Yeah, like which episode?
I don't know. Probably shit. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was like in the 30s, I think.
Yep.
But one of our segments was JV's final word. So you used to give final thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny how it's just and that's probably why I ask, is because we did that for so long. But you eventually just got to nope, nothing to say.
I think that's when the episodes are running like 3 hours long. Now it's just like, dude, I'm fucking falling asleep and nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's always, especially during this part where I'm, just going through these, podcast pals and shit, where you're probably like, fucking hurry up.
I'm a good partner. I would never say that. I'm like, why do we always gotta shout these fucking people out?
Because they support us too.
I know they do. I'm not saying I would never say that. I support you. I'm with you.
All right, so we got some final words out of JV this week.
Yeah, you conned me.
I tricked you into it.
Fucking grifter.
I just made up looking back at those old episodes.
Yeah. I control you now, motherfucker.
No, I actually did. It was a thing.
Hook, line, and sinker. Caught yourself a largemouth.
All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Till then, so long.
And that's the bottom line. And as far as I'm concerned, this over with, so get the hell out of here.